Hey guys, welcome. I wanted to go over a couple things with GitHub. Some of it may be a refresher. You guys may be onto this pretty good. The other class we already touched base on how to do this. So what I'm going to do is try to show it in two different ways. I think majority of us have PCs over Mac, so we'll do it in PC first, and then Mac is pretty much the same. Just a different emulator, and I'll show you how that works. But first and foremost is once I have collected all your accounts, I know some of you have already sent me your GitHub accounts, which I should probably have, but I had deleted my GitHub emails, so I don't have them all or memorized, whatever the case is. So I just needed to add you guys to my library, and we'll be good. So once you do have access, as you see here, we have a repository called YNAB. This will be our main repository for all of our source code check-in. There'll be some other things that we're working on that we'll have to set up a separate repository. So for example, once we start, like maybe let's say that we set up APIs to get information or run or execute or whatever, that'll be a separate repository just directly for APIs. So we can kind of keep the front end separate from the API stuff. I mean, the API stuff you'll be making those calls potentially on the website, but the ones that are running, like for example, we have to create endpoints, and those endpoints need to be called. So we probably want to do those in separate repositories, so it decreases the difficult everything working together. But we'll talk about that when the time comes. But anyways, if you look at this right here, the 262 class already created multiple branches. Once you do have access, you'll be able to create your own branch. And so if you come out here to YNAB, you can do it out here. So you can come out here and you could just say create a branch, and you could put your name hyphen sandbox. We're going sandbox because that's your own environment. Think of that as your testing environment, your dev environment. You can do whatever the heck you want to do in it. The main branch is what you want to build off of. That'll be the one that we push our code to once we're ready to publish. One of the things that we talked about in the other classes, we're going to be doing continuous integration and development. So I will be responsible for building a pipeline between GitHub and our shell, our host environment that we're going to be using. And I'll show you guys how I do it and so forth. But I'll build that feature out so that when we're ready to start publishing some code out to the web, we'll have that feature. So for example, let's say that Aiden checks in some code. He created a button that does an action event. When he checks his code in, we'll have a person that does push and pull requests, if you remember that from advanced programming. So whoever the gatekeeper for the week is, so we'll say Gerald or Doug is the gatekeeper. Their responsibility will be to review all the code that came in. If it looks good, then they'll go ahead and sign off on it and push it into the repository, which will be the main repository. Then what will happen is the pipeline from the other side will say, hey, you know what? It'll act as a listener and say, an event just happened. Let me go see what happened. So then what it'll do is it'll basically what happens is how it works is once that code gets checked in and pushed to the repository, it sends a message to the service and says, hey, there's been a change, and then the service goes out and grabs it, builds it, and publishes it out to the web. So that'll be what we'll be utilizing. So in order to do GitHub, there have been some changes since we originally did GitHub. You used to be able to do git clone with HTTPS, but you can't do that no longer. You have to use a key. So this first video, or maybe this will be a big video, we'll be talking about how to get your key. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through how to do the key, and this is a good video tutorial to show you how to get the key. So hopefully this is not too small. All right, first and foremost, I'm gonna do this from Windows, and you could do it from Mac as well. I don't have a PC anymore, so we're gonna have to do it from here. So first and foremost is make sure you have a git bash. If you're using a PC, it's git bash. And what I'm going to do here is try to zoom in here a little bit. There we go. First thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're in a directory where you have something. So I'm going to say cdc colon. And what it does, it changes it to my C directory. I'm going to clear it, and I'm going to type in pwd for present working directory. And it says I'm in a C. I am going to go into users and then my username. So yours will be different because it's your personal computer. All right, cool. So then I'm going to do an ls here. And I may already have a git directory. I'm not sure. So I'm going to cd into git. All right, so I don't have one. So I'm going to do an mkdir git, which creates a new directory. All right, there we go. And I'm going to cd into git. Perfect. So I could do everything from here. Perfect. So I'll clear it. Awesome. So now I can do all my work from here. All right, so we'll start off. Let me zoom in a little bit further, and I'll make this bigger if I can. Perfect. All right, so we'll start off at SSHKey -T. And so there's a trick to this. So there's going to be a step that we do that is different from the Mac and different from the PC. And you'll see what I mean. And everything's case sensitive here. So I'll do -C. And then you want to put your email address. Make sure you use your Point Park email. So I'll do this. Don't put mine in, but put yours in. And I'll hit enter. And then you'll get this message will pop up and it says you want to enter a file in which you save your key to. I'm just going to hit enter and let it default. Now I've already created this in class. I'm going to override it just to show you how to do it from scratch. And hit enter. And then I'm just going to hit enter again, enter, and boom, you have that. So that's the first step. So you want to make sure that you can at least get that. Okay. So now here's the second step that's going to be different. So I'm going to type in the command that you should type in. If you type in SSH add space tilt / SSH ID _ RSA. We're just grabbing this information up here. Oh my God, where'd my mouse go? It doesn't want to do it. Well, right there, okay? Now, it's not going to work on here. It's going to give me some funky error, which is fine. So if you're getting a PC, you're going to get this. If you're getting a Mac, you should get a response that says, what's it say? Identity added. So if you get a message that says identity added, then you're good for the Mac. For PC users, you have to type in something else. You have to type in EXEC for execute. Excuse me. SSH agent space bash and hit enter. This is the workaround for a Mac, for the Windows users. Mac would have worked for the other one. All right. Okay. All right. So now we have that completed. Now we have to do a couple more steps. We want to make sure that we have an ID associated with it. So if you do SSH agent space -S, you should have a PID number. Now we're going to get our key. So we're going to do cat tilt, which is next to 1 to the left, and then we're going to do /SSH /ID _ RSA .pub and hit enter. All right, now you see that lone key? That is your key. And you should not hand your key out to anybody. Now, this is a video, so I don't really care, because I'll do a new one after the video. So what I'll do is I'll grab all the way up to here, from SSH-RSA all the way down to your email, right click, and I will copy this. I will then come up here, and I'll come over to my right where I have my profile. I will then choose settings. I then will choose SSH and GPKey keys. I'm going to choose new SSH, and I'm going to say PPU remote key. All right. And maybe I'll put remote, and this is for senior project. All right. Put whatever you think is good for you, and then hit add SSHKey. All right, so now you see I have a bunch of keys on here because I've been doing this for a while. So I have that key to allow me to connect to it. So that's the first and foremost thing. All right. So then the next thing that you want to do is you want to go to your repository. Which I'm going to pull that Sunfresh back up again. I want to show you how to do yours. All right. So, why did it not show my profile? It always does this. All right. So let me sign out for a second. That's so weird. For some reason, when I go back to it, it's using the cache, and I don't want to do that. So I want to start from scratch. I should probably just do it in incognito mode if I was thinking right, but I'm not. All right, so there's those 10 branches. I want to make sure that my stuff, now I already tested something going up there and it worked. All right, so I have my sandbox up here. So what I want to do is test something out. So I want to click on code. You see where it says SSH. You know what? I need to save my thing because I'm going to have to copy that. And the thing is, I need to save my key. So I'm going to put it somewhere real quick. Let me bring up, shoot, I can't think of the name of it. Nope. Oh, there, it's Sublime. Let's just load it in real quick. I'll paste it in there, so that way, because I'm going to need to grab it. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to copy this SSH here. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to clear the screen. And what I'm going to do is type in git clone. And then I'm going to paste in what I had there. Oh, I didn't like that. Let's do this here. Let's go back up. I'm going to do it this way. Copy it here. Come back over. Paste it. Much better. Hit enter. Now what it's going to do is just going to clone it. So if I do an ls, I should have YNAB, which is the name of this. So now if I do I cd into YNAB, you'll see that I'm in main. So what that says is I'm in the main branch, which is this guy right here. Now he just has a README file there. So if I do an ls, I just have a README file, which is good. That's what we want. So I'm gonna do a clear. Now what we need to do is we want to get in our branch. We don't want to be in the main branch. So if we do a git checkout, and then what is it? Git checkout hyphen, and then I think it's just this git checkout, and then you put the name of your branch, which mine is this. Hit enter. All right, maybe I did it wrong. Hyphen B maybe. All right, so do it the second way. So you have to type in git checkout space hyphen B, the name of your branch, and then you'll know if you're in your branch because it'll have it in parentheses here. And how you could check it is you could do an ls, and well, okay, so here's the first thing. We're just seeing the README file. So what we need to do is do a git pull, because we need to pull from that branch, because if we come up to that branch here, I thought I had something in there. Okay, I do. So if I go to JSeaman Sandbox, I have a few files in here, and I'm only seeing that. So what I gotta do is here I could type in git pull origin, so get used to doing this, because you can mess your stuff up if it doesn't work. All right, so you've been asked to do a remote origin, but you do not specify a branch. Oh, that's weird. For your current branch, you must specify in the command line. That's okay. So this is new. Um, so what did I type in? I'll put origin, jsemen. Oh, you know what? I think I did it wrong. Oh, I did do it wrong. See, I switched to jsemen branch. That doesn't even exist. I might have just created it by doing that. What a goofball. All right. So I did everything wrong. This is a good lesson. Don't follow what I did. All right, so let's do this again here. Get checkout. Can't believe I did that. B, and then jsemen sandbox. I thought that was weird, but I was like, oh, what do I know? So let me clear it. That's the right way to do it. You have to go check out because it didn't. In the past, it would create it if you checked it out, but it might have created it locally. But I'll check in a second here. So let me do an ls. All right, so it does have that, but let me do something real quick. I'm just curious. If I do get branch A, all right, so you see where it says jsemen hyphen branch? That means that when I did do that checkout, it created it locally for me. So if I wanted to go in that branch and put some stuff in there and then push it up, then what would happen is it would, so this is the other way to create the branch, it would create it up here for you. But that's not what I wanted to do. I was in the wrong branch. So, all right. So now I should be able to do a get pull origin. All right, so still not liking that. All right, so that's something new. So let's see if we can figure it out. Origin, maybe you have to specify the branch in here. That's weird, if you ask me. Yes, that is something new. So something new I've been learning is you have to specify different things. Things have changed because I don't play with this every day. All right, so you've seen how to do that. If you do an ls, you're going to see we have a readme, a news, and a testing. So that is what we should have, because if we look at our code up here, oops, we have some stuff in here. So what I'm going to do here for testing purposes, I'm going to come over here and find that file that we just created. And there it is. And where did I put that at? jsemen get. Okay. So here's get, one out, boom. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create a basic file. As you see, I'm not doing any coding. I'm just, sample stuff so that we can sample that we're able to push and pull stuff up there. Hello world, perfect. Nothing fancy here. We're just keeping it simple. All right, so now we have something new in there. So now what we're going to do here is I'm going to clear this screen because it's getting a little jumpy here. I'm going to do a get status. These are things that we talked about way long ago. And so it's red, which means it's unchecked in. So if I do a get add dot, it should check it in. Now if I do a get status, it should be green, which means it's checked in, so that's good. So I'm going to clear the screen again. And now I'm going to do a commit, -m, and then you add a message, adding sample file, and hit enter. All right, so it added it from a commit. Now we need to push it. So we'll see if this changed too. You should be able to do push origin. But I have a feeling they're going to specify the branch. But let's see. Yeah. Well, it wants me to set upstream. So first thing I need to do is get push -set upstream origin jsemen sandbox. All right, so you'll have to do that for the first time. Now, it pushed it. Now if I come over to here and refresh my screen, I should have my sample file, hypothetically. And there you go. We have our sample file. So this is what I want you guys to accomplish this week, is get into the mode of doing this so you get used to it. So that's part of your assignment this week, is making sure you have your brand set up, and hopefully this video works. This is the same way that you do it with the Mac. The only difference is the screen looks different, and everything else is pretty much the same, except that command when we set up the key. And that was it. And you see, obviously, the key is working because we're able to do this. If you don't have the key set up, you can't do it this way. So hopefully this video was good enough for you to get started. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to exit out of here and be done. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you have a question, just reach out. And I'm here. Goodbye.